Example 4 is where we are going to find the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts and the turning points of a function, and we'll be using our calculator to help us do that. So our very first step is we want to go to y equals and graph this. Now as we get more and more comfortable with graphing, sometimes we only have to graph the very first term. I'm going to go ahead and put it all in here just for this one because I want to see this entire graph. Let me make sure I plug it in correctly. X to the third power, arrow out of my exponent, plus 4x squared minus 4x minus 16 and hit graph. I might have to adjust my window here. I do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change my window so I can see all of my intercepts. I can see my x-intercepts, but I cannot see that y-intercept because it goes down. So I'm going to do negative 10, positive 10, negative 20, positive 10. Let's see if that'll do it. So negative 10, positive 10, negative 20, positive 10. My camera's having trouble focusing here. Okay, so now I can see all my intercepts, and my x-intercepts are where the function crosses the x-axis. So I can see this would be at negative, this is 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So negative 4, negative 2, positive 2. So my x-intercepts are negative 4, negative 2, positive 2. And my y-intercept is negative 16. Now remember, if you're having trouble seeing it, you can do second trace and 5, and there it's going to show us that intercept, 0, negative 16. So my y-intercept is negative 16. Okay, I'm just going to just graph this, just a rough draft here. So I know this was negative 4, negative 2, positive 2, negative 16. Okay. Now when we describe our turning points, what we will be describing are the intervals in which that turning point happened. Okay, remember the turning point is where they change directions. Well, this graph changed directions between negative 4 and negative 2. So I would say between negative 4 and negative 2. Okay, and I don't know if this color will show up. That other turning point at this minimum, right? This was our maximum. That's where that turning point happened. This turning point happens down here at this minimum, and it occurs between the interval of negative 2 and positive 2. And that is how we describe the turning points, is we're describing the intervals in which that turning point happened. And then we could even go further and describe it has one relative maximum, one relative minimum.